And welcome inside the Campus Recreation and Wellness Center for tonight's Game 1 of a basketball doubleheader. The Durham Lords will take on the St. Lawrence Vikings for the second time in less than a week. We will be right back after O Canada for the start of tonight's matchup.
Just look at the cast, you'll be able to see the...
And welcome back inside the Campus Recreation and Wellness Center. John Lodge and Joey Chapman with you for both of tonight's games. John, it should be a fun one tonight. Starting for the St. Lawrence Vikings, Kylie Moyer, Rachel Steer, Cassidy DeWolf, Cheyenne Noble, and Hannah Stratton. With Durham lineups being announced now: Dakota Kirby, Maddie Denner, Alicia Navarro, Caitlin Crookshank, and Emily Chamberlain will be your starters tonight for the Lords. John, this St. Lawrence team was right here in the Campus Recreation and Wellness Center just under a week ago, losing to this Lords team in a bit of a blowout. What do you expect to see tonight in a rematch here?
I totally expect the Lords to come out and have the same sort of dominating performance, especially after getting handled the way they did by George Brown in their last contest at home. They got something to prove tonight. They played a much better game in the second half, even coming back to take a lead against George Brown for a couple minutes there. So it'll be good to see, or interesting to see how this one plays out for the start of the game.
For sure, John. And we saw that last Tuesday, or last Friday was the game between St. Lawrence and the Lords here. On Tuesday night, the Lords fell to the Huskies, as you mentioned. They did have a game in between. St. Lawrence did not. They have not played since that last game on the 17th, so a week ago today. And they are rested and looking for a comeback.
It's the first doubleheader tonight, so a long night of basketball and a long day of commentary for me and you.
It should be a fun one. I'm looking forward to it. And as Dakota Kirby comes in here and a quick pass to Navarro. Navarro misses that first shot for the Lords, but Kirby finds a way to get the rebound there and lays that in. Dakota Kirby starting off strong for the Lords. Nice pass there, cross course, intercepted there by the Lords, and they find a way to get the ball back again. Dakota Kirby making her way back up the court. 18 seconds left on the shot clock. Dender from three, and Maddie Dender rims out there, but the Lords get the ball back as Crookshank on the offensive rebound, but stolen there by the Vikings. And Cheyenne Noble, the player making the rebound underneath the basket. A big three attempt here.
There's that strange delivery again.
Yeah, Hannah Stratton, we saw that again from her last week. Bit of an awkward release, but she seems to make it work.
Bit of a shot put style release, you know, hold it up against the ear and give it a push.
Definitely not conventional, but if it works for you, it works for you. And Stratton has the ball back in the corner. She sends it over. And Noble rims out there. Cheyenne Noble was the lone bright spot for the St. Lawrence Vikings in their last contest. As I had it.
So it's good to see Navarro get back-to-back starts here with the squad. And I'd like to see Coach LaFontaine mix in Keisha Arthurworthy a little bit more frequently, give Chamberlain some rest, a little bit of a breather. Maybe I think they'll be able to be more effective if you give them 50-50 time and don't burn them out.
For sure. And I think that's a good point, John, because we see how effective Navarro can be early in games, but she seems to sometimes fade as the game goes on. And maybe that split time could be something that the Lords take advantage of across the team. As it's Stratton here with the ball, with Navarro covering her. Stratton moves it across. Three-pointer there by DeWolf. And rims out there is Cassie DeWolf trying to shake off some demons from last time here, John, just a week ago. She was 1 for 13 from the field, 0 for 8 from beyond the arc for just 2 points for the second leading scorer for the St. Lawrence Vikings team. She's definitely looking to rebound here tonight. And
apologize. Oh, that's a little bit better now. We weren't getting that before. I apologize if we had any quiet volume there.
It looks to be okay now, John. We'll keep track of it and see what happens. But for now, I think we're all right. We're at -12. We should be okay. And we work on some audio issues.
Always audio issues up here.
There's always audio issues, Johnny. It's the killer no one talks about in broadcasting is how tricky audio can be. And
don't want to make people's ears bleed, but don't want to make them have to stick their ear right up to the speaker to hear us.
No, definitely not. But we have been known to break some ears before. We've cranked this thing up louder and louder. As this is going to be the first substitution here of the day for the Vikings, as Michaela Appleby's going to check in. John, she was the only other player to reach double digits for the Vikings in their last matchup. 14 points off the bench from Michaela Appleby. Not really surprised that she gets into this game early, considering both teams have struggled to score in the first 3 minutes, as Kirby sends another shot up and that one misses again, as we're still locked at 2s here. That's 7:04 remaining in this first quarter.
Yeah, Cheyenne Noble is going to be key for this team. I don't think she had a very good game against the Lords last game, but only going 7 for 16. Not in her normal numbers, but she's going to have to step up, especially as well as Hannah Stratton. The St. Lawrence, and I don't know their name. Vikings. That's it. I knew it was on the tip of my tongue.
Listen to me, Johnny. I'm telling you.
St. Lawrence Vikings, they're going to need to be firing on all cylinders tonight in order to beat this Lords team.
As Maddie Dender kisses that one off the backboard, and Dender gets on the board with her first 2. Dender prefers to shoot from beyond the arc, but she'll take the 2-pointers as well. She is the leading scorer for this Lords team early through the season. Dakota Kirby now tries to strike in, but a steal there by DeWolf. And Cassie DeWolf may not have had it offensively last game, John, but we certainly saw her prowess defensively, and she shows that off there. And a nice steal from Dakota Kirby as a whistle goes there.
For what?
I am not quite sure. I was hoping you saw it.
No, it was random.
As everybody's confused, head coaches are confused. Both Remy Simpson for the Vikings and Heather LaFontaine for the Lords lean in there looking for an explanation from the officials. And Coach Simpson does not look like he's happy with the one he's gotten, as it's going to be a Lords ball. He's obviously looking for the Vikings to get possession off this throw-in, as any coach would. So far on the season, John, the Durham Lords are 4-3, and losing their last game at home to the Huskies back on Tuesday night. They're looking to end a 1-game losing streak and start something positive here and move themselves back to 2 games over 500, as Dender has lots of room and she's going to shoot, and she makes it. Maddie Dender makes her first 3 of the night.
getting everybody going, including us. It's going to be, like I said, a long night. We were on UOIT Ridgebacks hockey earlier today and doubleheader tonight, so we need to inject a little bit of energy, and Dender does just that with that big three-pointer.
Maddie Dender certainly showing why the Vikings should not leave her all alone, in case they didn't know already. She was key in that first matchup, John. She went 4 for 9 from 3, 10 from 21 from the field for 25 points. As she dominated this Vikings team from beyond the arc and from the field. As she has the ball back here, she sends it over to Kirby. Kirby thought about the shot, but moves back to Dender, who goes for 3, and that clanks off the front of the rim.
Just short.
As DeWolf gets the rebound for the Vikings. Here is Stratton now. Stratton looked like she went up and down. No, a travel called there by the official, and the Lords are going to get the ball back. They've started this game on a 7-5 run. Victoria Brody checking in.
Keisha Arthurworthy as well is in.
As the first two off the bench are Arthurworthy and Brody, two players who get playing time on a regular basis. We're going to see Navarro and Chamberlain back in, but for now, Arthurworthy and Brody coming in to spark some offense as the Vikings come back the other way. This is Steer with the shot, and that clanks off the rim, and a nice rebound there from Maddie Denver.
Not someone who normally collects the boards. She is the smallest person on the court, so that would be one of the hardest spots for her to get stats. But love seeing the fight, the compete. Dender with that nice rebound.
Dender at only 5'2", it's definitely the shortest Lord, and on the season, John.
Channeling her Muggsy Bogues and Isaiah Thomas and such.
Tell me her rebounds on the OCAA website. I will investigate further as Brody shoots from 3, and that clanks off the back of the rim. Victoria Brody making her presence known.
2.7 per game is what she's averaging coming in tonight.
I found here. I was trying to find how many rebounds she had in total, but 2.5 a game, or just over 2 rebounds a game for a 5-foot guard is something that the Lords will definitely take.
Well, especially when she's putting up 15, 20 points a game.
Yeah, you'll take the handful of rebounds when you can get them. As Emily Glendenning's checked into this game, as she comes in off the bench as well.
We also have Victoria Brody in, right?
Yeah, Brody, Arthurworthy, Glendenning.
So almost a full complement of subs, except for Dender and
Kirby.
And Kirby, yes.
As that's not unsurprising, as you're going to see a lot of Maddie Dender and Dakota Kirby. If you've been following us all season long with the Lords, Dender, Brody, Kirby are the big 3 offensively for this Lords team. Keisha Arthurworthy and Caitlin Crookshank do a good job below the rim.
And that right there is what the Lords needed against George Brown. But Victoria Brody got a little hot under the collar and fouled out. That's why she needs to keep her emotions in check and play this game and stay in this game.
For sure, John. We saw Victoria Brody and a bit of those struggles to stay in the game fouled out. Sometimes that happens. You get a little heated. The referees make a couple of calls that maybe you don't like, and you find yourself with 5 fouls sitting on the bench. But Victoria Brody is too important to this team, and the Lords are going to need her all game long. Doesn't matter who they're playing, as this ball's kicked out to Dender from Kirby, and Dender makes the 3.
There's a second of the game
there, yeah, as Kirby and Dender hook up for a 3, and the Lords are up by 9. Rebounded there by Kirby. Quick up to Glendenning. Glendenning in. She sends it to Dender. Dender.
Oh, just a little bit too far beyond under the board there.
The pass from Glendenning was just a little off, and Dender couldn't find a way to get it to go. Good defense there coming back.
I think if she had held that ball, Steer would have flew right by her.
Maybe, yeah, for sure. John Steer was coming back full force. And Steer not the biggest player either, only at 5'5", but the 3 inches on Maddie Dender was enough there to disrupt the shot as Dender tries to find Brody streaking in, but that's just behind Brody. And the Vikings come up the other way. A long stretch pass there looking for Kylie Moyer. And I believe that was Steer again, John, as she did her best Tim Tebow impression and overthrew her by 4 feet and out of bounds.
Thought you were going to pull up Brock Osweiler. Tim Tebow's been into the league for quite some time. He's hitting more home runs than he was throwing completions.
I could have gone lots of places with him, but any time I can tell you how bad Tim Tebow was at playing quarterback, I think I'm going to try and do it.
Can I tell you I had a Tim Tebow jersey?
You had a Tim Tebow jersey?
Yeah.
Gator jersey or Bronco jersey?
It was a Bronco jersey.
Johnny.
I was a huge Tim Tebow fan, man. I believed in him. I liked his mentality, his workman's attitude. He was just... he was built too big to be a quarterback. His arms were too big. His motion was wonky and strange, and it's good to see him have still have a professional sporting career.
Hanging around with the Mets minor league organization. Every time he hits a home run, my Twitter feed lets me know, as nobody loves a good Tim Tebow story more than ESPN in the States. As Zahara Gallimore checks in as she leaves that for Kirby, and Kirby misses the 3.
Yeah, a little strong on the 3 ball there.
Kirby, the only starter still left on the court for the Lords.
Yeah, it's a little bit of blasphemy, me having a Tim Tebow Broncos jersey,
being
a Patriots fan.
I'm so surprised to hear that, John.
It went in the garbage, though, so it's okay. Yeah.
You didn't burn the Tim Tebow jersey.
I didn't burn it.
He wasn't good enough to earn jersey burning status, I don't think.
No, it just went in the trash.
That's all right. Tim Tebow's doing okay. TV, baseball.
Still got my money for the jersey, so what I did with it after doesn't matter, I guess.
Tim Tebow's going to be okay, I think. As the Lords are doubling up, the Vikings here up 14-7. 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Emily Glendenning, with the ball. She shoots from 3. Glendenning, that just rims out as it looked like it had a chance, but couldn't get it to go. Arthur Worthy gets that ball on a misplay there by Chelsea Ramsey. The Lords back with possession and a full shot clock. Brody kicks it out, and Kirby makes the 3. Dakota Kirby nails
shooting
the
it from Markham, buddy. Shooting it from Markham. That was well deep.
Finding her stroke here is Dakota Kirby as she rewards Coach LaFontaine for keeping her on the court with that one. Deep 3 to answer from Ramsey, but that clanks out, and Arthur Worthy gets the rebound. $1:23 left in this first quarter. The Lords have going on a bit of a run. Kirby moves it over to Brody. Brody has Steer all over her. She moves it into Arthur Worthy. Arthur Worthy has it, and she's going to travel with that ball. As good defense on her there by number 20, who's not in my game sheet, but I remember that is Abby McIntyre.
No, that is Abby McIntyrezo. There's a Z0 or ZO on the end of that.
McIntyrezo. Abby McIntyrezo. They couldn't get her name or her number right on the game sheet, but we got you, Tyrezo family. That was good defense there by Abby. Kick back out to the top of the three-point line. Noble has it. She lets it go. That rims out again as the Vikings have struggled from the field all game long, and there's a foul there on Dakota Kirby, the 3rd against the Lords, and the Vikings are going to have an opportunity to shoot 2 and cut this Lords lead to 8. That is Kirby's first foul of the game.
Yeah, one thing I remembered about St. Lawrence from last game is that they shot a horrible percentage from the line. Not that the Lords let them get there too often, but it's one of those things that you have to clean up as a team. I mean, I talk about it every single game. As they miss two shots there, you have to be able to make those free throws, those throws that or those shots that no one's defending you on. They're not easy, but as a basketball player, as someone who plays this sport and practices this sport, you should be able to make those free shots.
The free throws are so important. You always mention them, Johnny, and it just makes so much sense. Free opportunities from the line, and that was a waste there by the Vikings. Not able to get any there as Navarro checks in back into the game for Glendenning. Kirby also on the bench now as Owusu checks into the game. Kaden Owusu was a scratch last game against the George Brown Huskies. Not quite sure what was the issue, but she is back and she checks in for Dakota Kirby. As that's out of bounds there. And it's going to be Vikings ball underneath the basket. 24.9 left in this first quarter.
Lord's doing a good job defensively, keeping St. Lawrence under 10 points through a quarter so far. That could change here on this possession, but as Stratton's going to go head to the line to shoot 2. But either way, to hold a team within or under 12 points, we'll call it, because I don't see them getting that many points in this few amount of time for one quarter. That's good totals. I mean, yeah, you add that up, that's 48 points for a game. So
for sure, Stratton at the line. Stratton is 58%, excuse me, from the free throw line all season long. As she goes 2 for 2 there and makes them, Johnny, making you eat your words.
Yeah, there are only a couple players on St. Lawrence that I would worry about at the free throw line, and that would be the players who have high three-point shooting percentages.
Brody for 3 and Victoria Brody.
Catch and shoot, looking like C.J. Miles right there.
Nothing but net as she lets that one go right away. That was a nice way to end the quarter for the Lords, taking back a 9-point lead as Victoria Brody caps off the first quarter in style. And in doing so, gets the Lords to 20 points in the first quarter. Not a bad pace to begin this game for Durham.
The Lords doing great defensively and decent offensively. They've had some poor shot attempts and missed some open layups. So it'll be nice to see them tighten it up, but not too much to complain about here in the first quarter.
Big stretch here for the Lords, John. First or second of 5 straight home games to end the winter semester schedule. They lost to George Brown on Tuesday, but started off with a win against the St. Lawrence Vikings. The remaining schedule, they have Seneca and George Brown right here at the CR, Campus
WC.
Recreation and Wellness Center, whatever the acronym is. I've said it too many times. They will, so this is a big stretch for them. 5 games in a row at home to end the season. They're 1-1 as of now. A couple wins in this homestand to send them a couple games over 500 into the break. Certainly where the Lords want to be halfway through the season.
Yeah, for sure, Joey. You definitely want to be ranked in that top 10, and while being ranked in the top 10, you want to be racking up the wins, because teams like George Brown and Humber, they're not losing right now, not very often anyway. So it's definitely going to be tough come playoff time.
George Brown moving up in their victory against the Lords to 4th in the OUA. Durham remains at 8th. As of November 20th, the St. Lawrence Vikings are not ranked. At 2-4 on the year, kind of in a heap with St. Clair, Sheridan, Niagara. Lots of teams battling at the 2-game over 500 mark. And the Lords can do an awful lot for their postseason standings with a couple wins at home to end the first half of their schedule as we're underway here in the second quarter, as Owusu battles underneath the net there as she gets the rebound out of Chelsea Ramsey, and Owusu gets on the board with her first 2 points of the quarter.
She wasn't playing for the Lords last game. She was a scratch, so it'll be interesting to see what she can add to the team, and if that's maybe the energy they needed as well.
Owusu moves it over to Navarro. Navarro to Brody.
Brody was about to jack that up.
Yeah, Ramsey did a good job getting her hand in the way, and Brody thought better of it, as Owusu doing good work underneath the basket, picking up the rebound off a Glendenning's shot, but better work by DeWolf to out-rebound Owusu underneath, as that's a 3-ball there.
Going
Chelsea
Steph
Ramsey
Curry and using the glass.
Kisses it off the glass and in, as Chelsea Ramsey puts a 3-ball up for the Vikings, something that we have not seen so far in this game as they've struggled from beyond the arc. Navarro to Brody. Brody with time. Brody's going to shoot it. That hits the rim and rebounded there, as that's going to be off the Lords Vikings ball.
It looks like they're saying it went off Emily Glendenning and out.
As that was a good opportunity there from Victoria Brody. John, sometimes we see her 4 shots, but that was not one of them.
Yeah, like I made the comment that she's like C.J. Miles, and when Miles overthinks a shot, when he takes that extra second, he tends to miss it. And I think Brody's the same way. I think she needs to just catch it and shoot it and not overthink it and just let her natural basketball ability take over that shot. She probably would have made that one. I think she just got in her own head a little bit.
Brody now with the ball, gives it back to Glendenning. Glendenning over to Navarro. Navarro pumps one way, goes the other. Navarro shoots it. And Alicia Navarro kisses that one off the backboard, but gets her own rebound there somehow all the way across the court. Navarro's there to get the ball back. As Glendenning over to Navarro underneath the net for Gallimore. Gallimore sends that off the glass and can't get the layup to go as the shot clock was expiring. Chelsea Ramsey up the other way for the Vikings. Ramsey tries to get out off the backboard, but Victoria Brody with a great defensive play to come back and disrupt her from making that easy layup.
That's an interesting call there by the official, especially if that was on Emily Glendenning. That looked like it was all ball. No, they call it on Owusu, okay.
Owusu taking her first foul of the game, and the Lords have yet to score a point in this second quarter. Oh no, sorry, they have 2 points in this quarter, excuse me. They ended the quarter at 20. But the Vikings have found a way to cut this lead to 6 as a quick ball up to Glendenning. Glendenning kisses that off the backboard but can't get it to go, and a rebound there underneath the net by Michaela Appleby. She's done a good job fighting for those tough balls underneath the rim as that ball goes through the hand of our favorite shooter, Hannah Stratton. And it's going to be Lord's ball here, 43, excuse me, left in this second quarter.
Yeah, it's going to be important here. Looks like we're having wholesale changes here, getting Dender and Chamberlain and Brody back, or not Brody, sorry, Kirby back on the court. Brody was inbounding the ball there. It's going to be important for the Lords to be strong on the three-point line against St. Lawrence. A lot of them like to shoot from distance. They don't shoot at a high clip, but they like to shoot from distance. As I say that, there goes Hannah Stratton.
Yeah, that's beautiful there from Stratton, right underneath the outstretched hand of, I believe that was Kirby, John.
That weird shooting arc helps you get up over the reach of others.
As Dender lets hers go from the corner, and Dender rims out.
Nice rebound there by Chamberlain.
Dender again with the ball. Back to Kirby. Kirby inside to Chamberlain. Chamberlain sends it off her left hand and doesn't get it to go. And you're right, John. This Vikings team likes to shoot a lot from 3, and it's going to be big for this Lords team to stop that if they're going to control them and not let them come back into this game.
Yeah, no, if you let them, like, no matter if they're shooting a low percentage or not, if they're jacking up 30, 40 threes in the game, 10, 15 of those bound to fall. I mean, especially if they're shooting at a decent percentage, then you've gotten yourself into this game. We've seen that with George Brown and Durham, the men's team, early in the first half.
I was thinking the same thing.
They were just trading 3s for 2s, and it didn't work out for them. So you can't get caught in that trap game with St. Lawrence, especially an unranked team.
That ball clanked out by DeWolf. You're right. You're totally right, John. I had the exact same thought. We talked about that a lot in the men's game. They were going 3 for 2s in the first half. They found themselves in a big lead. Unfortunately for them, they blew that lead in the second half and are looking for a comeback game tonight. But definitely something the Lords going to be cognizant about in this game.
Nice ball movement there by St. Lawrence.
Yeah, they're really picking it up here in this quarter. They had the lead down to 3 at one point. Or they cut the lead to 3. It's now back up to 7 as Stratton, I believe, was fouled there. That ball was out of
tipped
bounds.
out of bounds.
As DeWolf has it, that ball is going to be out of bounds on Dender. And on those wholesale changes, everybody who started this game is back in.
Save for Brody. Brody did not start this game.
Yeah, Brody is in for Navarro. That is the only non-starter on the court right now.
There's Stratton again from distance.
And just like that, it's a 4-point lead for the Lords. Quick up to Brody. Brody has it, looking for somebody. She moves it to Chamberlain. Or that was Crookshank to Chamberlain. Call there by the officials.
Yeah, unfortunately, Chamberlain's a little bit weak on the offensive side of the ball. She's a big body, and she can collect those boards offensively and defensively, but on the her offensive touch isn't quite what Arthur Worley's is, and that's why I want to see them get equal playing time, because you got to have points coming from that position. You got to be able to put it up off the glass and in.
As that ball sails over top of the head of Rachel Steer, misplay there by the Vikings. Kirby tries to find Dender on a long stretch pass, but that one picked off, and the Vikings up the other way. Stratton for 3, and Stratton makes another one.
They've got to get up on her, Joey. They're giving them way too much space beyond the arc. They're doing the exact opposite to what they were doing last week.
The Brockville, Ontario native steps up and makes another 3 here, and she's been a key contributor in the Vikings, cutting down this Lord's lead. Brody to Dender. Dender tries to answer a three, and she does. Maddie Dender with a big three there for the Lords, answers right back. The Lords are up by 4. Quick up are the Vikings. Here is Noble. Noble has it, tries to get the left-handed layup to go. She can't get it, but the Vikings find a way to get the rebound. It is Steer. Steer.
Beautiful block there by Brody.
And Brody's defensive prowess showing off there. She gets in front of that ball and taking advantage of the smaller player and getting the ball back for the Lords. There is Victoria Brody.
So the Toronto Maple Leafs are going tonight against the Carolina Hurricanes. And then tomorrow against the Washington Capitals, a back-to-back. Hopefully the boys can do good tonight.
As the Leafs looking to come back off a 2-game losing streak, they got a point the other night in Florida, losing to in a shootout. But trying to take advantage of the Carolina Hurricanes, who have played them tough all year long. And correct me if I'm wrong, Johnny, but I heard Darren Drager say that Matt Martin's not going to play tonight. Do you know if that's been confirmed?
I don't know, actually, but I'll get on that right away.
As that ball's out of bounds there. We don't have line rushes yet, but Marlo Brown and Levo were skating as the 4th line. Matt Martin and Dominic Moore, the extras. So maybe we won't see the enforcer for the Maple Leafs tonight, as it's not like Columbus really, or Carolina really has anybody to dance with the big man. And Coach Mike Babcock, for the first time in his tenure, electing to sit one of his enforcers, his only enforcer really. But we've seen him do lots of things with Matt Martin, including skating on the line with Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews and warm up the other game.
Yeah, Jonas Siegel confirmed the lines for today, and there is no Matt Martin. Josh Levo will check in and play on the 4th line with Marlowe and Brown. Van Riemsdyk, Bozak, Nylander, 3rd line. Soshnikov checks in on the 2nd line with Kadri and Komarov. And of course, we've got Matthews, Marner, and Hyman up top. So no Brown, no Martin. New look lineup here for these Maple Leafs.
No, Connor Brown's in. It's
sorry,
Moore.
no Moore and Martin.
I'm not too concerned about not having Dominic Moore in my lineup, as it certainly hasn't helped the Maple Leafs when he's been in there. Patrick Marleau's been the team's 3rd best centerman when he's been in there. He's been much more effective than Bozak and Moore, in my opinion. The Leafs trying to get their first regulation win in 3 games, since they haven't beat one since defeating Montreal in that nice 6-0 drubbing last Saturday.
Yeah, hopefully we can survive the Carolina Hurricanes. Normally you don't hear that, but this is a new look Hurricanes team, and I heard on the radio with Tara Vinen and with Aho on the line with Jordan Stahl. Stahl barely touches the puck, but he still remains to be, or manages to be extremely effective physically on that line. So it'll be interesting to see if the Leafs can handle them tonight. Scott Darling has kind of had their number. He's played for Chicago these last few years, but it seems every time we see him, he's stopping every puck.
Yeah, Carolina's had the Leafs number, defeating them already once early this year. Back to basketball now as Dender kicks that out to Brody. Brody quickly trying to move it into Crookshank, but can't get that to go. Crookshank lost it on a tough pass, but the Lords going to lose possession here after a holding foul. Arthurworthy picking up her first of the game, as Arthurworthy is checked in here for Crookshank.
Chamberlain.
For Chamberlain, excuse me. Thanks, Johnny. As Chamberlain is taking a seat on the bench, Alicia Navarro still not checked back in for Victoria Brody as she continues to get regular playing time.
Yeah, I think the coach is rewarding Brody for playing smart and not playing too emotional, and I like that look.
There's Dender 2-on-1 here with Brody. Brody gets the ball from Dender. Brody kicks it out to Crookshank. Crookshank with the 3, and she gets it.
Off glass, what a nice look.
Caitlin Crookshank answers a 3 off the glass from Chelsea Ramsey with one of her own. And the Lords lead 32-25 after that timeout. Here's Noble. Noble sends that one up but can't get it to go. Arthurworthy gets the rebound underneath, and she's going to be fouled underneath the basket, and the Lords are going to have possession. 3:39 left in this first half.
That call confuses me, Joey. I don't know if that's a foul or if that's a jump ball call. And it seemed Arthurworthy had full possession, but the Vikings are going to end up with the ball.
As Glendenning checks in for Brody, as Victoria Brody sits for the first time since the 8-minute mark of the quarter when she came in.
Need to zero in on Hannah Stratton. She is on fire tonight. She wasn't shooting well the last time she was in here, and she's looking to avenge that.
Stratton definitely one of the most dangerous shooters for the Vikings. Not afraid to shoot the three, as she's taken 36 on the year. Made only 10, but she's made a couple big ones here so far tonight.
I believe she's 3 for 4.
As this is DeWolf missing from 3, as Cassidy DeWolf continues to struggle here in the home of the Lords. As Glendenning has that, and that easy play for Glendenning. She thought about passing it up, but had lots of time underneath the basket. And might as well just take
in doing so, she faked out the defense. That was a nice play.
Glendenning got to be called, said the last player to touch that ball, it's going to be out of bounds on her, and the Vikings going to have a throw in here as they have just under 3 minutes to try and even up this game going into halftime. Lords currently leading by 7. This ball kicked out to Ramsey. Ramsey has Dender on her. She tries to push off, but Maddie Dender doing a good job defensively. Noble now, she kicks it off to DeWolf. DeWolf still can't make a basket. I'm sure she'd be looking to buy one right now. Everything seems to be just off for her inside this gym. Kirby comes back the other way, finds Glendenning for a deep 3, and Emily Glendenning just rims out there. She had a hand in her face. That ball nearly went in. Ramsey with a nice pass there, moving it over to Moyer. The better defense there as Glendenning comes back, and her and Chamberlain team up there, or Crookshank, excuse me, her and Crookshank.
I get those names confused all the time.
It's Chamberlain and Crookshank, 22 and 24, 2 C's.
Bossman Chris looks like he's having too much fun at work.
Bossman Chris is working? Oh, no, yeah, Bossman Chris may or may not be talking to college students. Continuing on, out of bounds on the Vikings. Lord's going to have the ball. So that is as far as I want to say to that.
Yeah.
About. Yeah, anyways, moving on.
Moving on.
Live from the Cape Burness Media Gondola, Joey Chapman, John Lodge with you. As the Lords currently up by 7. Leading the Vikings 34-27, as that was a nice pass in there for Arthurworthy by Dender, but Arthurworthy not able to get it to go.
Yeah, she had to go up too high on that one to try and get it around the defense.
And Noble there defensively as another 3 attempt from
Stratton. From beyond, she's going to shoot 3.
Is she? Oh, that's
it'll be interesting to see what the call is.
Lords, was that Dender in coverage? Not happy with that.
Yeah, she's going to shoot 3.
She's going to shoot 3. Number 3 for the Lords taking that foul.
Nope, never mind. Looks like they're calling side out. They just called a foul on number 3. It looked like she fouled her on the shot. And interestingly enough, I'm looking at Hannah Stratton. She's holding that wrist a little bit that's been heavily taped for the last couple games. So it'll be interesting to see if that may be bothering her a little bit and if that'll affect her shot.
Well, she sends that one up there, and tough to tell if that was the wristband or Maddie Dender's hand all over her. But Stratton misses that one. She's got the ball back. Stratton with the travel. And a tough couple seconds here for Stratton. She misses the 3, misses another one, and gets called for the travel. And the Lords get the ball back after an unsuccessful possession there for the Vikings.
That may be enough to get under her skin and get her a little bit aggravated, Joey. You know, a missed shot and a foul on the shot that wasn't called for free throws, and then the travel. Just looking to, as I see, she's checked out now to have a seat on the bench. Just looking to see if maybe it'll interrupt her game.
Yeah, she's been hot so far, John, but she's definitely a streaky shooter, as you mentioned, as I talked about. She doesn't seem to get to the line a lot, so you know she likes to shoot the 3s. 36 attempts on the year, second most on the team, only to Cassidy DeWolf. DeWolf's percentage not much better at only 36% on the year, and that's been highlighted here in these 2 games against the Lords as she's really struggled, not just from 3, but also from 2. As the Vikings come back the other way, here's Ramsey from 3. Ramsey sends that one way long, and Dender comes away with a rebound. And
she tried to shoot that one into the net in St. Lawrence.
As Dender sends it over to Kirby. Kirby trying to pass it back to Crookshank, but intercepted there by the Vikings on a nice defensive play. Here's Ramsey back with it. She sends it to Moyer. Moyer can't get it to go. She's fouled, will shoot 2, and that is the 4th foul on the Lords. They're 1 away from being in the penalty with just 1 minute left. Oh, excuse me, that was their 5th, so they're now in the penalty with 1:03 left in this first half.
It's going to be important to not take too many fouls here and not give away too many free points. St. Lawrence is not the greatest at the line, but you don't want to be putting them there for a minute straight.
No, you can't let them keep shooting. Eventually, they're going to make them as Steer goes 2 for 2 there. Nice shooting from the line there was Rachel Steer, another first-year player on this team. She hails from Markham, Ontario. Dender there in the corner, and she gets that layup to go. A tough play there as Kylie Moyer was all over. Excuse me, that was DeWolf all over her. But Dender gets it to fall.
And the one St. Lawrence player comes down in a C. Kylie Moyer comes down in a C of Lords and ends up with the offensive rebound. Not good job bodying out there and going back to the line.
Another, they're going to shoot 2 here.
That's another one on Maddie, yeah.
Dender, blue shoes Dender, going to take the foul there. As the Lords in the penalty, as we mentioned. And it's going to be Steer shooting again for the Vikings. She steps up, makes her first one. That's 3 in a row from Steer. Steer on the season. Believe it or not, John, these free throws are her first of the year. She's now 3 for 4, 75% from at the line all season long as that ball is given away to Dender. Dender comes in, Ramsey all over her, and a foul there, excuse me.
I was going to say Maddie needs to be careful to not get this ball blocked from behind, but I think she was trying to draw contact that whole way up.
Yeah, certainly can't hurt as Dender's going to shoot 2 from the line there, and Maddie Dender definitely tries to initiate contact, John. We've seen that from her throughout the season, trying to use her smaller frame to generate contact and get to the line more often. As Dender makes those 2 free throws, and the Lords lead back up to 9, 30 seconds left, 24 on the shot clock. Here is Steer.
Back to the line again for St. Lawrence, and this is their 3rd trip to the line, Joey, since the Lords have been in the penalty, and they're doing exactly what we said they shouldn't be doing, and that's sending St. Lawrence to the line a lot in this last minute.
Noble will be the shooter for the Vikings as she clanks that first one off. Cheyenne Noble, 16 from 25 from the line entering this game. The points leader for the Vikings is 65 on the year. As she misses both of those with 18 seconds left on the game clock, the Lords will get the ball. And an opportunity to end this half on a strong suit. That ball is sent in by Crookshank. She moves it over to Kirby. Kirby, long pass for Dender. Dender moving some bodies around. Dender moves it to Glendenning. Glendenning from a deep 2, but can't get it to go as that ball's gonna rim out. 2 seconds left on the clock. A Hail Mary 3.
Almost went in too.
And Noble, good effort there as Noble worked her way up the court trying to get the 3 to go, but unable to do so there as the Lords take a 39-30 lead into the halftime. And John, certainly not as high scoring of a first quarter for the Lords as it was last Friday, but one they're certainly going to be happy with going in up by 9.
Yeah, it's a strong defensive game by Durham. And like I said before, their offensive game is just off by maybe a half step here because St. Lawrence themselves are playing better defense. So it'll be good to, or it'll be imperative and important, I don't want to use too many big words here, for Coach LaFontaine to go into the locker room and say, keep up the good work on the offense and defense, and the good things will happen for you. They're outpacing St. Lawrence, and if they continue to do that, St. Lawrence's defense will be affected.
This is the first of 2 games on a mini road trip for the Vikings. They play at 1 o'clock tomorrow against Centennial. But before that, they have to complete this second half, and they will be back to take on the Lords in just under 15 minutes' time. Me and John will be back to join them. We'll be right back on the Durham Lords Network. And welcome back inside the Campus Recreation and Wellness Center here at Durham College. Or you can call it the Maddie Dender Show. 17 points in that first half. 6 from 12 from the field, 3 for 8 from beyond the arc for a game-leading 17 points. The lone standout really for the St. Lawrence Vikings. Number 22, Hannah Stratton, matched Maddie Dender for threes. She also went 3 for 8 from the line to lead her team with 13 points. The Lords trying to snap a one-game losing streak. As Maddie Dender has the ball, she moves it to the inside. Emily Chamberlain, 1 for 7 from the field was Chamberlain as she struggled in that first half. The ball is sent across court here underneath the rim is Moyer, and Moyer kisses that one off the glass. The Lords send that ball long, and that's going to be out off the Lords, and it's going to be a throw in here for the Vikings.
Sorry about that, Joey. I had to make a phone call.
That's all right, buddy. You did not miss a thing, as that's the first basket of the half. Oh, excuse me, that's the second basket of the half for the Vikings, as they're going to go back to the line here. And John, in that first half, the Lords got into foul trouble at the end of it. Certainly something they're going to want to avoid here, but they take an early foul to start this third quarter.
Yeah, one foul in the first minute of the quarter, first minute of the half, never a good thing, especially when you found yourself in the bonus for about a minute there at the end of the second half. So it's going to be very important for them to play strong defense, but not play too physical of a defense where the referees feel like you're being overly aggressive.
As Navarro sends this to Kirby in the corner, she kicks it out, and it's stolen there out of the hands of Crookshank, and a deep three there taken by Kirby. Kirby misses it. Dakota Kirby struggled in the first half for the Lords, going 3 for 7 from the field, just 1 for 4 from three. And when I say struggles, she was second on the team with 8 points, but you don't see that many missed shots from Dakota Kirby that often, as normally she's good for almost 50% plus. Just a bit of an off quarter for her there, but 8 points on an off quarter, I'm sure, or half, I'm sure her and her teammates will take it, as that ball is out of bounds there, deflected by Chamberlain, who's come into this game, and her and Keisha Arthurworthy both not putting big points up from that forward position, but they've both been strong on the offensive and defensive rebounds. As we're not tied here, it's the second time in 2 games. The scoreboard has tricked me. It looks like 39 from my angle for the Vikings, but it is 39, 35.
That bar around
yeah,
the
right there. It really
clock.
Messing right in my way, but the Lords take their basket and make it 41-35 here as they finally get on the board here in this second half.
Dender already set up in 3-point range.
Maddie Dender will be looking for that ball all night long. John, I started this half by saying, welcome to the Maddie Dender Show. 17 points in that first half. 6 from 12 from the field, 3 of 8 from beyond the arc, and 2 for 2 at the line, as she was incremental. I'm not saying that word right. Incremental for the Lords in their first half lead. Also 3 steals and 3
But I believe you
rebounds
mean
for
instrumental. Very important to the Lords is the definition you're looking for, right?
Incremental? Yeah, incremental.
Incremental means like increasing.
You're totally right. That's not the word I was thinking of.
I think you mean instrumental.
Yeah, instrumental, big. Let's just go big. She was big for the Lords in that first half.
Let's stay away from the big words.
Yeah.
Neither of us are doing very good with them
As
today.
Maddie Dender clanks one off. Let's just stick to the nice, easy radio words. We don't need any of these fancy $1,000 words. There's a pass in there. That was a missed opportunity.
But getting back to Dender's line here, 17 points, 3 rebounds, an assist, and 3 steals. Like that's a great line for the first half for Dender. There are games that sometimes where she only averages 17 points the entire game. So to be able to take the team and put them on her back like that and get just about half the team's points in the entire half, that's a star player right there, and that's the kind of player you need to be on all the time.
Dender, 18 points averaging per game 36% from 3 on the year and 50% at the line. She is such a key player for this Lords offense, both offensively and defensively, as we've seen her be able to chip in. As this is Moyer coming up the court for the Vikings. She moves it to Stratton. Stratton also 3 for 8 from the 3 line in that first half as that ball sent out to Moyer. Moyer sends the jump shot too, but that goes long over the basket, and Kirby gets that rebound. Kirby quickly up the other way. Kirby to Navarro, and Navarro can't get that to go as it's a wasted trip there for the Lords, as Dakota Kirby did a good job bringing that ball down the court. Unfortunately for Alyssa Navarro, she just couldn't get it to go. It's going to be out of bounds there, and it's going to be Lords ball.
Lords got lucky there. They got a full shot clock because St. Lawrence went after that and tried to throw it off the Lords out of bounds, but it didn't go back out of bounds. So because St. Lawrence, they just readjusted it as I speak. They give them half the shot clock. So the refs are a little bit more on the ball than maybe I had first thought.
Our shot clock crew down there with the game day staff just a little slow on that, trying to give the Lords a bit of an advantage, but the referee is able to stop it as Kirby sends a
Deep
3
again.
there. Victoria Kirby.
She takes an extra step back almost every time, Joey.
Victoria Kirby makes her second 3 of the night. She's now 2 for 5 from beyond the arc. As head coach Remy Simpson giving some animated advice to Chelsea Ramsey of the Vikings. And they can't be happy with how his team has started here in this second half.
As we've got Arthur Worthy, Brody, and Glendenning about to check in for Chamberlain, Crookshank, and
Navarro. Oh, Navarro
Dender.
Stays on as Dender's going to come off. That's interesting, as Navarro seems to be getting used to being one of the first subs of a quarter. But Dender comes out there. Dender played 14.5 minutes in that first half, and we've seen her a little banged up, John, so definitely not a problem to get her some rest here early in the half, as this game looks like it's going to be much closer than the game last Friday, and the Lords are going to need her coming down the stretch.
Yeah, you got to keep her well rested, especially when you're not dominating offensively the way they were in the last game. It's kind of warm up here, eh?
All of a sudden, the jacket's coming off, or the pullover, because it's getting warm in here to start the second half, as it's only going to get hotter in the gym. This is just game 1 of a doubleheader. John and myself will be here for the men's basketball game coming up. Tip-off set for 8 o'clock, when the Lords will take on the Vikings. Right
Just
here
about
on the
an
Durham
hour
Lords
away.
Network. Hopefully we don't have any net issues to start the game like we did on Tuesday, as that's going to be a foul there against Emily Glendenning, who shakes her head and laughs at that call, not agreeing with that from the official, but it's going to be a Vikings ball here, as they're going to throw it in right from their own bench.
I'm going to have to put a no hanging on the mesh sign on the wall behind the nets and see how much the players don't listen to it.
As Arthur Worthy takes that ball underneath the basket, quickly up to Kirby. Kirby to Brody on a nice pass, and Brody just with a little pull-up shot there, kisses it off the backboard and gets 2 for the Lords.
Good job by Brody. It looked like she was surprised by the pass there, but great job adjusting to it, getting it off glass and getting it in. Nice steal.
Good ball movement, I was going to say, by the Vikings, but a poor pass there right into the hands of Kirby. He does an excellent job.
Oh, that's a double dribble.
And Navarro called for the double dribble, as you say, Johnny. And that's going to lead to a substitution here for the Vikings, as Abby Matrizo going to come in, the first-year player at Guelph. I guess that's why they had her name and number wrong on the game day stats. It's only her first year as a player in the OCAA, but she's been pretty good in the opportunities she's had. I'm sure that name's going to get fixed shortly, as that ball goes right through her hands and out of bounds. It's going to be a Lords ball here, as they get the throw in. 5:06 remaining in this third quarter. Their lead currently at 8. Here's Kirby up to Navarro. Navarro back to Kirby. Kirby with time, trying to direct traffic here. As Kirby has it, Stratton all over her. She gives it to Brody. Brody quickly over to Navarro on the far side. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Brody has it. She takes a deep 3. Victoria Brody. But that does not go, as it's a good ball length short of the rim. As the shot clock was winding down there, Brody needed to get something off.
Just trying to get the roster here for St. Lawrence, but apparently it doesn't want to open for me.
I have it right here, buddy. What do you need?
They have it as McIntyre in there, eh?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, on the website it's McIntyre as well, so certainly a change that, or certainly an issue that's been around for a while. Not quite sure what has happened with Matrizo. But, hopefully for her sake, she gets her name figured out and everything gets sorted as
yeah, I was just
coaches
gonna
for
say.
both teams in our doubleheader, John, sorry to interrupt you, are filing into the gym, getting ready, as that game was 1/2 away from starting here at the Campus Recreation and Wellness Center.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can't blame us for getting your name wrong if they don't write it down right in the program or on the website.
Absolutely not. There's only so much we can do. As that ball, it's a nice defensive play there by Gallimore, but that's going to be a foul against the Vikings. And all of a sudden the Lords have taken, or against the Lords, John, and all of a sudden they've taken 4 fouls here in this third quarter. Plenty of time with 4 minutes and 15 seconds left. The Lords once again find themselves in foul trouble.
Yeah, 4 fouls, 4.5 minutes left in the quarter, and the St. Lawrence Vikings have not given up any fouls so far. They're doing exactly what we said they can't be doing, giving up way too many free shots from the line, as McIntyre, or however you pronounce her last name, gets 1 for 2 from the line. The Lords are going to find themselves in the penalty at some point in this game, or in this quarter, for sure.
Gallimore fights off 2 Vikings, but it is going to be Vikings ball there.
I do not understand that call, Joey.
I'm not quite sure.
I'm going to have
either.
I'm going to have at the end of the game, I'm going to have a talk with the referee and get a little bit of understanding, because there's something going on there that's just it rubs me the wrong way, but I guarantee I'm just misunderstanding the rule.
As the Vikings try and take advantage there, but a nice defensive play by Emily Glendenning to turn the ball over. And the Lords come back up. Quick pass there to Arthurworthy from Kirby, and that's going to roll in as Keisha Arthurworthy does a good job there underneath the basket, and she gets her first 2 of the game.
She's going to be key in this one, Joey. As I said earlier in the game, you need points from that position underneath the rim. And oh my goodness, what a 3-ball there!
Cassidy DeWolf finally breaks the offer, gets her first points of the night, and that's a deep 3 and a big one there for the Vikings. As Brody has the ball back. Brody tries to get a high layup to go, but can't get it over the outstretched hand of Kylie Moyer.
And I'm noticing more and more Victoria Brody is a lot calmer this game than she was last. She is getting a couple calls go her way. That may be that's just maybe the key component, but I don't see her getting as animated with the other or the opponent as well. That all could have stemmed though from playing an undefeated team and really wanting that win more.
Yeah, we've seen Victoria Brody play with lots of passion all season long, John, but you combine losing to a top team, calls not going her way, shots not going her way. We saw probably the worst of Victoria Brody when she got ejected from the game. Was not a happy player on Tuesday night, but as you mentioned, much more calm and in control, and it's showing up on the game sheet as she just has 5 points, but has been all over the court, leads the the Lords, excuse me, with 5 assists, leads the entire game with 5 assists. She had 4 at the half, has 1 this quarter, and she's done an excellent job spreading out the ball and getting her teammates involved. As Kirby quickly sends this up to Arthurworthy, as that's the second time they've done that in the last 2 minutes. Arthurworthy, who was so good against George Brown, only 2 points on the night. Those just coming a few moments ago as Brody's all alone at the top of the 3-point line. Brody clanks that off the back of the rim and it goes over the backboard. She looks for a call there, not going to get it. As the Lords are struggling to put up points here in this third quarter.
Only 10 so far in the quarter, and
it's 12 for the Vikings, so not a winning quarter so far for the Lords. As Steer has it now, Steer kicks it to the outside to Matrizo. Matrizo has it, step back, looking inside. Arthurworthy gets her hand on that. Dakota Kirby in there as well, and the Lords gonna be off the, oh, excuse me, that's gonna be off a Viking player. As that's a break there for the Lords. They're going to come back the other way. Victoria Brody to Gallimore. Gallimore tries to get the circus layup to go. Can't get it. Arthur Worthy tries to go up for the offensive rebound, but she's going to get called there. And all of a sudden the Lords are in the foul, in the penalty. John, that's their 5th foul, and Arthur Worthy is not at all happy about that. Neither is Coach LaFontaine.
Yeah, just after I gave Victoria Brody some praise for being calm and collected, I seen her refuse to give the ball to the referee until he explained to her why she didn't get a call on that 3-point attempt, and shake her head a little bit, get a little bit mouthy. She may be getting a little bit fired up right now, and maybe needs to go sit on the bench and catch her breath and get her emotions in check.
The Lords can scarcely afford to lose her in this game, as they only trail by 5 now, and she turns that ball over to
and it looks like she just turned her ankle, Joey.
Matrizo coming up the other way. Victoria Brody limping back. Matrizo misses the lay-in. Brody all alone because she was limping back. She gets the easy 2 to go. And she's going to come back up the court, limp a little bit better. And that was a nice pass by Kirby. As Brody tries to shake her leg out. Sorry, John.
Yeah, we'll see if Coach LaFontaine notices that and gets her out of the game.
There's a ball there, almost turned over by Glendenning. Now with it is Noble. Noble sends it to Steer to Matrizo, all the way back out to Noble. Noble with a pump and go and drives the basket hard, gets the shot and one. As a very nice looking play there from Cheyenne Noble to give the Vikings their 46th point of the game, and she's going to try for 47 here and make it a 3-point play.
Yeah, interesting there. To me, Arthur Worthy had owned that spot on the floor. So to get a foul called, I would have liked to see an offensive foul there, just simply because, you know, when you own that real estate, it's one thing if Arthur Worthy moved into it and tried to obstruct the shot, but she owns that territory. So I seen the Vikings as offensively fouling her there. But you know, the call goes the other way, and you just gotta roll with the punches on that one.
The Lords try and hang on to a lead here to end this quarter. They are in the penalty, and like it or not, the officials seem to have all the control no matter what sport you're playing, John. And the only matter of fact is trying not to get frustrated with the calls, as that ball, Victoria Brody makes a bit of a bad pass there off the feet of Gallimore. Not really an opportunity for her to play that ball, and it goes out of bounds, and it's a throw-in for the Vikings, and they come up. Their deficit now just 4, as they've done an excellent job at weathering the storm and playing a hard 3rd quarter here.
Yeah, Brody, she seems to be forcing the issue a little bit right now.
And DeWolf misses a lay-in there. Obviously, that 3 ball of hers has not sparked her offensively, but it has for Moyer, as she's been strong all game long. The Prince Edward County native gets 2 there for the Vikings.
2-point game, Joey.
And just like that, John, Gallimore has the ball underneath the basket. Can't get the layup to go. She's fouled there underneath the rim, and the Lords will shoot 2 for a change, as Gallimore couldn't get it to go, but draws the foul.
The Vikings' only 2nd foul of the quarter, so they're doing well not fouling the Lords, as the Lords are in the penalty. So they need to be careful here. This game could be getting away from them, and a team that's unranked, you can't allow that.
Coming into the game, John, the Vikings had only shot from the line 85 times in 5 games played. So not their biggest bread and butter is getting to the line, but they've done a good job of it, and they've done an excellent job at forcing the Lords into the bonus into the penalty, 2 quarters in a row.
Yeah, and Victoria Brody has checked out of the game.
Dender comes in to take her spot. Owusu also on the court for the Lords, along with Zahira Gallimore, Crookshank, and Owusu, and the coach is gonna not get a technical there. It looked like he was a little hot-headed.
Lords have gone small here, Joey.
As who checked in there, John? Oh, Navarro checks in there, so it's Brody or Dender and Navarro. So right, they have gone small, not having either Arthur Worthy or Crookshank on the court.
No Chamberlain either.
Or Chamberlain. Glendenning is out there for the Lords at 5'10", but she's more of a guard than a forward for them. Owusu is a forward at 5'8". She's underneath the rim. We've seen her in spot duty sometimes, John, and she's been pretty effective, I feel like, when she's been on the court.
Yeah, she's aggressive under that net, and that's what you need. And that's what I was going to say, is like, even though they've gone small, they have Owusu out there, and she can gather those boards just as well as those other girls. So it'll be it's a good change here. Maybe try and pace up the game a little bit.
Owusu, 2 points and 3 rebounds in the first half. Maybe getting a reward here from Coach LaFontaine for her strong effort in the first. As I'm not quite sure what happened there, John. As the Vikings are going to substitute in, as it's going to be Stratton. I'm still not quite sure why the whistle went.
The only thing I can assume is that they called her for the traveler, the double dribble.
We didn't really see I didn't see a sign from either official, but for the Lords, it doesn't matter. It's going to be a throw in here for the Vikings. Noble will have it. There's only 12 seconds left in this quarter. Noble looking for an option, finds Matrizo. Matrizo has it, gives it back to Noble. Noble hard in on Owusu, but Owusu does strong there, and a better rebound by Glendenning to stop that. Glendenning gives the ball away, but it's going to be too late. Can't get it to fall, but she will shoot.
Owusu fouled there, and should have just let her take the shot. The clock was down.
As Appleby's going to shoot, I believe it'll be 2 here for Appleby. And that's going to be a tough way to end the quarter for the Lords. They still trail or lead by 3, John, for these free throws, but being outscored in that quarter.
Are they calling that a three-point attempt?
I can't imagine so, but
they held up 3 fingers.
Let's see what happens here. Yeah, it is going to be a 3-point attempt here, John, as a break for the Vikings. Tough to see that. It didn't look like it was a 3 from our angle. But just like that,
it's a 1-point game.
Michaela Appleby brings her team within 1 as we are 2 minutes away from the 4th quarter. And John, a 9-point lead for the Lords coming into the quarter has quickly evaporated and is now just 1.
Yeah, this game is quickly getting away from the Lords, and Coach LaFontaine does not look too happy with her crew there. She's expressing something, and a lot of hand motions over there at the bench. So I don't know what's going on with the Lords. They're taking some bad shots. They're not defending as well as they did in the first half. That quarter was definitely in favor of the St. Lawrence Vikings, seeing as, like you said, they had a 9-point lead going into the half, and it's now down to 1. Not a good look for the Lords. You got to get your starters in, and that's exactly what Coach Chamberlain has done, or Coach LaFontaine has done. She's brought in her starting 5, and we'll see if they can get back to the way they played in the first 2 quarters.
The Vikings outscored the Lords 21-13 in that 3rd quarter. They've done an excellent job at hanging into this game. Easily could have thrown in the towel, John. They were down by 11 points early. Their Lords jumped all over them to start this game. It would have been easy for the St. Lawrence Vikings team to sit down and die, especially after being thoroughly dominated here a week ago, but they've had a good bounce back effort. Have definitely made this a ball game as Kirby sends this over to Navarro. We're underway here in the 4th quarter. Dender underneath the basket for Chamberlain. Chamberlain leaves it for Cruikshank. Cruikshank back to Chamberlain, and Chamberlain can't get it to go, but gets the offensive board. Can't get the second one as she tries to wrestle that out of the hands of Cheyenne Noble. But it's going to be Vikings possession here. The Lords can't convert on their first possession of the 4th quarter.
Yeah, that's Chamberlain's downfall there. Like I've said before, she's not the strongest on the offensive side of the ball, but she'll body out and get that rebound as the Vikings take a lead, Joey.
First lead of the game for the Vikings on that 3 ball. And all of a sudden the Lords are trailing here at home. Do not want to lose 2 in a row here on home court. Navarro sends this over to Dender. Dender lets the 3 go, and that just rims out. Trying to get the rebound underneath was Chamberlain, but she couldn't get it. And it's going to be Vikings possession here. up by 2 for the first time all game long.
This is a nightmare scenario here, Joey. You were playing great and maybe got a little bit too set in their ways, the Lords did, and they need to wake up right now. Not shoot that 3 ball, get it inside, work the ball into the 2-point range, and make some high percentage shots.
Lots of time left on the clock, John, but the Lords definitely need to find a way to turn it back on. They haven't really been hot since the first quarter. As another shot falls there for the Vikings. 4-point lead now for them as they come back up the court are the Lords. Dakota Kirby, quick in. Alicia Navarro for 3, and that clanks out. A nice pass there from Caitlin Cruikshank, finding Navarro all alone in the corner. But Navarro can't get that one to go as DeWolf loses the handle. It looked like Chamberlain was going to kick that ball, but thought better of it. As a deep 3 there by Stratton over top of Dender. And
Coach
Stratton's
LaFontaine needs a timeout here. Coach LaFontaine needs a timeout.
As Glendenning's going to check back into this game.
Body language says everything, and crossed arms do not look good by the coach. She's not happy.
Can't imagine that she is after giving up a lead here at home. Dender has the ball. She moves it over to Kirby. Kirby moves it back to Dender. Quick ball moving to Navarro. The Lords have gone cold here. Navarro to Dender. Dender has the ball in her hands. She drives in, finds Chamberlain, and Chamberlain can't get that to go. And Glendenning moves it over to Navarro. Navarro back to Kirby. Kirby trying to force that one in there to Glendenning, but unable to get it. That's intercepted by the Vikings and sent back the other way. Unfortunately for them, a bit of a mishap there at center court. And the Lords are going to get the ball back. No harm, no foul. The only thing is for the Lords is time slowly ticking away here in this fourth quarter. 7:37 remaining. Lords trail now by 7.
Yeah, the Lords need to slow this game down. They're outpacing themselves from this game as Dender throws up another 3 ball. She hasn't made one since the first half.
Dender, who's now over 50 3-pointers on the season. The entire Lords team has gone cold, but a nice basket there by Chamberlain, taking advantage of a lucky bounce her way. Being in good possession and getting that ball to fall. As Stratton tries to get the awkward layup to go, but can't do it, but the Vikings recover. As DeWolf now has it in the corner. DeWolf gets it to go as DeWolf gets the one-handed floater. That's her 4th point of the night for Cassie DeWolf. And she's starting to wake up for the Vikings as Dender from the corner. Maddie Dender, and that's exactly what the doctor ordered for these Durham Lords, as they need a spark, and they might have just got one there.
I was going to say they need a stop, and they got one of those too.
And here comes Kirby trying to get the layup to go, but Navarro right there for the rebound. She can't get it, but she will be fouled and shoot 2 as the Lords have life, John, with 6:35 left in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, Kirby was looking for contact in the call there on that shot. She wasn't looking to drain it. That's why it looked so bad, so awkward, and it bounced right to Navarro, luckily, and she gets the foul called and is going to the line for 2.
She doesn't get the first one, as Alicia Navarro coming into this game was 6 for 6 from the field, from the free throw line. Easy for me to say. She gets that one there as the Lords now just trail by 3. Another stop would be huge, and Kirby got her hand on that ball as Chelsea Ramsey almost lost it. But
another stop there.
Yeah, it's the defense for the Lords picking up along with the offense, John. As a good stop there defensively as Stratton just couldn't hang on to that ball. And Victoria Brody will check in as Kirby's going to come out and sit for what I assume is not going to be a long period of time. She led all players in the game with 16 and 50 in the first half. She played almost all of the second or the third quarter, and she'll be back shortly, I am sure. Navarro tries the pump fake, can't get it to go. Victoria Brody now has it. She moves it inside. Navarro gets it back. Navarro gets it to kiss off the glass, and the Lords now trail by
they put the points on to the Vikings side there.
There's a bit of a scoring issue on the board, but 61-60 the score.
No, the Vikings just made a shot there
so
too.
63-60 now is trying to get some
maybe 64. I don't know if it was a 3 or not. I wasn't really paying attention.
Fixed on the clock. There's 10 fouls up. They finally got the score right. They're going to figure it out down there at the scoreboard. 5:43 is the time they've decided on left in this game.
And apparently St. Lawrence also has 10 fouls right now.
Yeah, I assume they'll get that sorted out as well. I believe it's just the one. But Daniela down there getting a little bit of help on the score table.
It was a 3.
And it was a 3 for the Vikings. Okay, so all of a sudden, that makes it a little more interesting as the Vikings now up by 4. Glendenning will throw it in here for the Lords. She gives it to Brody as the defensive pressure being picked up here by the Vikings as DeWolf gets the steal. And that's an unlucky play there for Moyer, as she can't get it to go after DeWolf made a nice play to steal the ball. Just as I mentioned, the Vikings picking it up defensively, they start to really put some pressure on, trying to stop these easy throw-ins for the Lords.
Yeah, Navarro is my my grit grinder at this game so far. She has played almost the entire game for the Lords, and she's been effective almost the entire game.
As Chamberlain can't get that one to go, but she will draw the foul underneath the basket, and she will shoot 2. Chamberlain did not shoot a free throw in the first half.
Speaking of grit grinders, by the way, Jeff O'Neill is in the process of making grit grinder gear that he will be selling for charity.
I saw that I believe it was teamed up with Sick Kids or something along those lines.
I may or may not be buying some grit grinder gear.
The ODog92 on Twitter. Catch him every day on Overdrive on TSN 1050, 7 to 4.
Well,
Brian
maybe
Hayes, Jamie Noodles McLennan. It was Mail It In Friday today.
I was going to say, don't make promises, because ODog doesn't show up every day.
He might have been up at the chalet on a Friday. Who knows? As Navarro gets this ball quickly up to Dender. Dender goes in, draws the foul contact, but no foul there. She can't get the ball to go either. Down by 2, and that's going to be Vikings ball. It looks like it just hit off the foot of Maddie Dender and out of bounds.
Yeah, I like the aggressive play there by Dender. You know, maybe didn't get enough contact on the shot to get a foul called, but aggressively chasing that ball back and forcing an inbound there so that the fast break point can get shut down.
Her and Coach LaFontaine both shaking their heads at the end at this timeout call by the Vikings, both wondering where the call was on the play. For the Lords, John, they really need to find a way to spark it here offensively. They haven't had over 20 points in a quarter since the first quarter, and they have really struggled here to contain this Vikings attack that's picked it up themselves and is playing a lot more fast-paced. The Lords need stops defensively, and what I've noticed is they haven't got the threes to fall, and that's really the bread and butter for this team from the outside. And they haven't been able to capitalize on three-point opportunities in this second half.
I think you've got to credit the St. Lawrence defense for that. They're not leaving them open on beyond the arc there. Every time the Lords try to jack up a 3, there's a hand in the face or in the way. But ditto can be said for the Lords in this second half, or at least this fourth quarter here, not allowing Hannah Stratton, who was killing them from beyond the arc, to get any open looks and get any easy points.
It's a very big 5 minutes and 17 seconds for the Lords. A loss here could easily knock them out of the top 10 in the OCAA rankings. And Vikings come in here unranked. That's going to be an offensive foul there on Chelsea Ramsey, getting called for the push-off. And that's not a bad start here for the Lords as they try and claw their way back into this game after the Vikings took their lead away midway through the quarter. Here is Brody. Brody up to Navarro quickly. Navarro has it back to Brody. Moves it to Glendenning. Far pass there for Navarro on the far side. She drives in, looking for Chamberlain underneath. Reverses it back out to Glendenning. Glendenning bounces the ball a couple times, comes in, draws the foul there. Can't get it to go, but Glendenning going to draw the foul, and all of a sudden, John, the Vikings are in the penalty, and the Lords have a real opportunity to come back into this game as they're going to shoot 2 every time, as that was the 5th team foul
Yeah,
the Vikings.
and the Lords have no team fouls in this third or fourth quarter, so they're playing extremely well, and they're playing tight defensively, but without fouling, and that is the path to victory.
A bit of a role reversal here as the Lords were the ones in foul trouble, John. In the second and third quarter, both times they were in the penalty. Now this is the first time for the Vikings as they find themselves at 5 fouls here. Good ball movement over to Ramsey. She can't get that to fall, but a better rebound by Noble picks it up. Noble with time. She lets a 3 go. Cheyenne Noble from 3, and that hits the front of the rim. Victoria Brody on the rebound. Comes up the court quickly. Victoria Brody makes a nice move to get around Moyer, but can't get the basket to fall. As the game is tied 64-64.
That was a nice move by Brody, but I would have liked to have seen her pull up and activate her teammates, which were right behind her. It was a 3-on-1. St. Lawrence was further back than even though the extra 2 teammates, and they would have been able to get a much better shot as opposed to having the contested shot that Brody put up, but still a great move by her.
And here come the Vikings the other way, trying to regain their lead. It's Moyer underneath the net, and she makes a nice play there on the left-handed layup. Gets that to fall, and they take a 2-point advantage. Victoria Brody comes back the other way. She finds Dender in the corner. Dender gets a 2-pointer to go. She made a nice move to get around Hannah Stratton at the 3-point line.
Yeah, Hannah Stratton doing her best NFL impersonation and throwing a shoulder into Dender too, so I don't see how the foul wasn't called, but I'll take the 2 points either way.
Anticipating the 3-pointer there was Stratton, and Dender using that to her advantage to get around the first-year defender. Vikings have the ball now. This is Steer. Steer moves it into Stratton, but a call there. Not quite sure what it is, but the Lords.
That was a blocking foul, I believe, on the Lords, but no shot and side of the bounds.
That's a bit of a break there for the Lords, as they would like to keep the Vikings away from the line here, as they want to be the only team shooting free throws. And I would expect from them, John, a lot of drives to the basket and trying to get this Vikings team to foul them and get easy shots. There's a deep 3 here by Stratton, and she doesn't get it to go. Victoria Brody coming back the other way. Victoria Brody one-on-one with Steer. She sends it all the way to Glendenning. Glendenning had a look at 3, thought better of it. She drives the basket and gets that to go. Despite the little contact, the referees keep their whistle in the pocket, but Emily Glendenning drives the rim and gives the Lords a 2-point lead. Back come the other way are the Vikings. Here's DeWolf from 3, and DeWolf clanks up a brick as that hit the far outside of the rim, and the Lords come back the other way.
Time to create some distance here, Joey.
Victoria Brody to Glendenning. Glendenning now for 3. She thought about it. She took her time, and it still doesn't go as Navarro quickly trying to find Brody. Turns that ball over to Steer, and Steer comes back with Brody all over her defensively. DeWolf over to Noble. Noble drives the basket and gets it to go, making a nice move to get around Emily Glendenning. Noble ties this game back up at 68.
I'd like to see Navarro throw that ball off of the defender's feet there as opposed to trying to make it
nice no-look pass from Navarro to Dender. Dender just clanks that off the rim as Alicia Navarro set Dender up with a very pretty-looking pass there.
Yeah, I love those no-look passes, and it's something that it's a pass that could have been made on a play by, let me get her number here, by Emily Glendenning, but she went in and got the 2 herself. That's driving the lane. That's going to leave the 3-point shot open. And a nice call there, offensive foul. Great play by Victoria Brody, owning that real estate and taking the big hit. And she will go to the line.
Well, that's huge there for the Lords.
Or at least you'd think she would, but this is the OCAA, not the NBA. So no, she won't go to the line.
Not going to go to the line, Brody, but does not take away at the very solid defensive play there, stopping that Vikings possession in its tracks as Noble looked like she had a real opportunity for the layup. Brody has the ball now, still tied at 68. She tries to find Dender, but a real nice one-handed play by Kylie Moyer to break that up. Here is Steer with it. She moves it over to Noble. Noble has time. Brody guarding her. DeWolf with it now. DeWolf with a nice pass back to Steer. Steer from 3, doesn't get that to go. Glendenning underneath the basket is out-muscled by the 2 Vikings players, and DeWolf has the ball from 3. She shoots, she gets it, and DeWolf makes a 3-pointer there, and the Vikings up by 3. 2 minutes left to go in this game. Navarro with the ball. Navarro moves it to Glendenning, back to Brody. Brody sends up a three, trying to answer. Can't get it to go, but Chamberlain with the rebound. Brody sends another three.
Fouled
She's
from
fouled,
distance.
and that's going to be 3 shots for Victoria Brody. And a nice play there by Brody to get that shot off, and a big opportunity here to tie this game back up at 71.
Yeah, the Lords got caught on a double team on the first attempt by, was it Moyer or Steer from 3? Whoever sunk the last 3 for the Vikings, and she clanked it out, and a couple offensive rebounds there for the Vikings. And then once again, she was left wide open to drain that 3 ball and give them the 3-point lead. So the Lords need to be more stable on defense and not get caught up in double teams.
As Brody makes her first 2 of 3, it was DeWolf who made the 3-pointer for the Vikings on the play before, and Victoria Brody goes 3 for 3 at the line there.
It's a key move there.
Tied up at 71. Noble has the ball, and Noble makes a nice play there. A better pass by Stratton to find her. Turnover by the Lords. It's Steer with it. That ball was turned over by Chamberlain on the throw-in.
They'll be content to just throw this around and try and kill more time off this clock.
I would certainly imagine so, as Noble's
travel though.
Yeah, that's a misplay there. It's not Noble, it's Chelsea Ramsey, the Richmond Hill native, going to get called for the travel there, and a break for the Lords, John, as they're going to get possession back of this ball.
Yeah, and they need to get this ball into the net here. They need to not settle for a 3-shot and outside chance and try and drive this inside, get the foul called, and shoot from the line.
As Brody makes a nice move to get around to Wolf. She gets her own rebound, can't get it to fall, but rebounds again. Victoria Brody gets the 3rd time to go. 3rd time's the charm for Victoria Brody, number 3. And we're tied at 73s, 1:16 left on the clock.
And we've got an exciting finish here.
On Navarro, Steer one-on-one. Tries to find Noble, finds her. As it past the outstretched hand of Dakota Kirby, check back into this game. Unable to get the rebound there was Ramsey as she misses the board. Less than a minute to go. Navarro now has it. Navarro driving the basket hard.
And one.
No,
offensive foul.
And that's a tough break there for the Lords, as Alicia Navarro going to be called for the offensive foul. And the coaching staff for the Lords certainly not happy with that call. And the referees will get together to discuss this. But the referee behind the basket, John, was very quick on his decision and waved that basket off right away.
Coach LaFontaine is not happy. She's on the court, and she is letting her thoughts be known at this point. Tied at 73s, under a minute to go. They need to be careful not to get teed up.
Timeout called here by the Vikings, as they're going to have possession in the Lord's zone with the throw-in. 53 seconds left, as you said, John. Only 14 seconds left on the shot clock, but that is a tough play there for the Lords.
I think that'll get readjusted to 24.
As I'm not quite sure if it will.
I mean, it was an offensive foul. The Vikings haven't had possession of the ball yet, so I don't see why it would be a half shot clock.
Ben, you've done the shot clock down there, Johnny, more than I have. I believe you.
I've done it once.
That's one more time than I did it.
Yeah.
This is a fun finish here, John.
Yeah, we're gonna have a photo finish in this one. The referees are playing a big role in this final quarter here. The Lords with the Vikings with 5 fouls. The Lords with 1. I think that should be 2, seeing as it just got called for the offensive foul. And I'm sure that's what the referee's going over to the table to discuss.
I have a feeling you're correct, John, as a referee who looks an awful lot like Ian Gallagher from the show Shameless has the ball in his hands.
I think the Lords might be happy with the title Shameless for this referee.
They certainly cannot be happy with it. That's a drastic turn there, as they thought they had a 2-and-1 to take an opportunity for a 3-point lead, and all of a sudden it's
time to body up and play some good defense here. They can afford to be aggressive. Just don't take a foul on a shot.
For sure. Navarro tried to send up there, but a nice play by Noble to get the lay-in to go. 47 seconds left. The Lords down by 2. Here's Brody with it. Brody drives hard, gets the lay-in to go.
Beautiful shot there. Beautiful drive.
Driving past DeWolf was Brody, and she ties this game up. 30 seconds left on the clock. Noble comes back for the Vikings. Noble driving. Nice defense there by Glendenning. And it's going to be Lord's ball. And an excellent play there by Emily Glendenning, getting important time here. The first-year player with 32 seconds left on the clock. Only rookie on the court for the Lords.
They're going to move the ball up court.
Very nice play.
Good call on the timeout here. Move the ball up court and try and get a quick, you know what? I don't even know if I want a quick 2 at this point. I kind of want to run this clock a little bit, take as much off as I can so that the Vikings feel like they're rushed and have to force a shot up.
With 36 seconds and in the bonus.
32 seconds.
32.6 seconds. And the Lords have lots of options here, John. They can go for a quick 2. They can drive the basket and try and get 2 and 1. They can do, as you said, hang on to the ball and maybe even shoot a 3. They have the weapons on the outside to really do whatever their heart desires here. And Coach LaFontaine's going to draw up a play for the girls. But a big moment here. 32 seconds left on the clock. The Lords looking to win here at home against the unranked St. Lawrence Vikings, who came into this game 2-3 on the year. The number 8 team in the OCAA needs a basket or 2 right now.
Yeah, the Lords can't afford to lose to this team. Like you said, it could bounce them right out of the top 10, and that's not where they want to be. This team is too good to not be ranked, and yeah, so important possession here by Durham.
On the court for the Lords, Victoria Brody, Maddie Dender, Alicia Navarro, Emily Glendenning, and Dakota Kirby. The 5 white jerseys of the Lords trying to get something going here offensively. It will be Kirby with the throw-in. 24 seconds was reset on the clock. Glendenning now has it. She makes a nice move to the basket. And Emily Glendenning puts the Lords up here as a timeout called by the Vikings. And John, this is going to go right down to the wire, and a beautiful move by Emily Glendenning to get that 2 points.
That was great misdirection there by Navarro as well, faking out like she was going to receive the inbound. Glendenning wide open, drives past the only defender on that side of the court and gets the easy layup. It was a perfect shot. And like you said, now they can have a 2-for-1 possession here.
Lots of opportunities and lots of time. I would love to know the timeouts left. I could not tell you how many timeouts are left for each team. The Lords are in the bonus.
I just assume a lot when it comes to basketball in the last minute.
Both teams have used them a little bit here in this last 2 minutes, as it's been a nail biter. Really, John, the first time me and you have done a broadcast together where we've been in this situation where it could come down to a final basket opportunity. And it's pretty exciting here inside the CRWC, as this is just game 1 of a doubleheader. Don't go anywhere, because right here on the Durham Lords Network, we'll have a rematch of this game, the Lords versus the Vikings, but it will be the men's varsity teams going at it.
I believe Coach LaFontaine was just trying to get the answer to the question you asked, and I think she's got 2 timeouts left. I don't know about St. Lawrence, but I'm pretty sure that Durham has 2 timeouts.
Lots of time, 29 seconds and 2 timeouts for the Lords. This game could still go on for a while. It is Noble holding onto the ball. She has to get rid of it. She finds DeWolf. DeWolf guarded by Glendenning. Dender all over Steer, but Steer going to draw the foul on Dender, and she will shoot 2 here, as they're going to call that a shooting attempt.
I don't know if that's a shot, but okay.
Certainly could have gone either way, as she kind of hucked it off the side. That's kind of the motion Dender's making in center court right now, but the Vikings are going to take it as Steer sends the first one up, and that clanks off, and it looked like it might go, but it doesn't. And that's a big miss there for Steer.
Yeah, she doesn't get the shooter's bounce on that one, and that's where being a poor free throw shooter comes into play.
Steer gets ready to take the second one. Steer, her first free throws of the year. She goes 0 for 2, and a travel there against the Lords. Victoria Brody getting called on that one. It's going to be Vikings possession again, and that's a misplay there by Victoria Brody.
Yeah, there was a strong defense there by the Vikings, and Brody moved her pivot foot.
Noble will throw the ball in, looking for Steer. Nice defensive play there by Dender, but it will be Vikings ball, and all of a sudden, John, 21 seconds, no shot clock, as This game's coming right down to the wire. The Vikings need two to tie it up. Pass there to DeWolf. DeWolf sends the three, and that clanks out, and Brody gets the rebound.
And they are in foul territory now.
Yeah, that was
well,
a foul.
It looks like Brody's going to shoot two, and the Lords can quickly see or find a way to pull away here.
As Victoria Brody went 3 for 3 from the line in such a critical situation to tie this game up at 71 a few minutes ago. She tries to give her team a 3-point lead and misses the first one.
Take a breath, look at it, calm down, drain it. A little bit of adrenaline going right now, guaranteed.
17 seconds left on the clock. The Vikings are going to have lots of time no matter what happens. Brody can't make either shot, and the Lords still trail by 2. Here's Ramsey coming up the court. She sends it to Noble. Noble has it to Stratton, to DeWolf. DeWolf is blocked there by Glendenning as Emily Glendenning gets a hand on that ball.
And it's Durham ball.
Lords possession. As they're going to say that went off black, and the Lords going to get possession of the ball with 5-7 left on the clock, as the referee is going to have a bit of a conference here, trying to determine who was last to touch the ball. Whistle.
And we're going to stay with the original call.
Yeah, they don't try and reverse it there, and it's going to be a timeout for the Lords. They're going to advance the ball here, John.
Yeah.
5.7 left on the clock, and in the bonus, the Lords have an opportunity here to close this game out.
I can't imagine that St. Lawrence isn't going to foul almost right away here on the inbound to try and hopefully still have a chance to possibly tie this game. The Lords need to make whatever shots they take here. I would hold the ball, force the foul, and make your 2 shots. Try and get into the hands of Dender or Glendenning if she is on the court. Those seem to be your strongest free throw shooters.
As a team, the Lords are 60% from the free throw line all season. The best of the year being Alicia Navarro coming into this game in a small sample size, only 6 attempts, but she drained them all.
She had a couple tonight, and she made one missed one. So.
Victoria Brody is 71% on the year. Surprisingly, only 14 attempts from the line for the aggressive Victoria Brody, but she has the highest percentage of anybody who's taken more than 10 free throws for the Lords.
So Glendenning is on the court, and so is Navarro, as well as Brody and Dender. You have all of your strongest free throw shooters out there, which is the lineup you want to put out.
For sure, and you got to think that's what Coach LaFontaine's thinking, as Navarro is fouled there. You mentioned she missed a couple in this game, John, but definitely not a bad player to be shooting for the Lords.
She needs to drain both these here so that the 3-point attempt doesn't really matter.
In the first half, she did not shoot any from the line, so we don't have her stats on the game, but perfect for the year coming into this game, and she has an opportunity here to really ice the Vikings, as that one doesn't get to go, and that's a tough one there, as the Lords are 0 for 3 in their last 3 free throw attempts.
She's got to drain this one here. They're going to go for a 3-point attempt.
Big opportunity as Ramsey is all alone in the Lord's zone.
Stratton's back there in the Lord's zone, actually.
Well, Ramsey's on the far side as
so
well.
I didn't see that. I've seen Stratton, who
quickly
seems to be
moves
the
to cover her.
shooter.
3 seconds left on the clock. Dender on the defense, and can't getting the shot off is Noble, and the Lords come back to win 78-75 here at home. And John, that was an exciting game for the Lords. Despite blowing the lead at halftime, they rally back and show some fight and come away with a 3-point win.
Yeah, that was a good one, Joey. Great bounce back from losing to George Brown. A lot closer than you really would rather them have it, but yeah, it was a great bounce back there.
A much better effort from the visiting St. Lawrence Vikings, but the same result as they fall 78-75 in this game, as the Lords have defeated them 2 in a row. They will play next on Friday, February the 2nd. That will be at St. Lawrence. For John Lodge, I'm Joey Chapman. Make sure you stay tuned to the Durham Lords Network, as the Vikings and the Lords will be taking part in the second half of this doubleheader. We'll be right back on the Durham Lords Network.